Kendrick Lamar is moving like an evil super villain right now. I had to put on my Undertaker shirt because Black Air Force Kendrick is very, very spooky. If the lights cut off right now and Kendrick ends up right behind me,
The Undertaker! Oh my God!
I wouldn't even be surprised because that's the type of time Kenny is on right now. If you ask me, he is moving like Pac on death row. Pac spitting at paparazzi is exactly what Kendrick just did to the entire hip hop industry and probably just everything in life in general. The best way I can describe it is Suge Knight at the Source Awards.
You don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video.
If you tired of these mainstream rappers talking about spinning, drilling, killing, spinning the block and catching a op and putting a bag on his head and dodging the feds with a Glock 19 and I mean with a beam, if you tired of that, come to PG Lane. Kendrick is calling for the great reset for hip hop. No conspiracy. It's time for change. Let's get off into it. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Read My Soul, and I'm back with another video for you. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's being blessed. Yes, if you are watching this, you're on the right side of history. Get up, go make it an amazing day. And my favorite saying of 2024, I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to be me, baby. And if you're looking for the right opinion, I don't know where you can find it. But if you're looking for my opinion, you are in the right place. So let's get off into it, man. Let's talk about it. First things first, if you did not like Watch the Party Die or Untitled or Dear God, whatever they want to call it out there, I think Watch the Party Die is the best title for it so far. It's Untitled, but if you want to call it something, Watch the Party Die is decent. If you did not like the song, more than likely that song was directed at you. I'm talking to you, DJ Academics. I'm talking to you, Vlad, Adam22, and all of the culture vultures that come in and try to tell us what hip hop should be, which is one big party.
I think it's time to watch the party die.
Girls, money, sex, violence, spinning the block, and all of the stuff that the culture has been for the last few years.
We might be arriving back at a world in which Kendrick puts out music and everybody I know doesn't really talk about it. I just feel like I mostly podcast with people who primarily listen to like street rap.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
I had to come in, I had to talk about this, man, because I've been feeling this way about the culture for a few years, man. For the last maybe 10 years, I feel as though the Drakes, the Kendricks, and the J. Coles, and the Big Crits, and the Wale's, and the Big Sean's, and the Mac Millers, the mainstream has been doing its best to try to move them out the way and give you, no disrespect to the artists I'm about to name, but the TKs, the Tekashis, the Glorillaz. Yeah, because we're going to throw the women in there. We're going to throw the women in there. We got Rhapsody, we got No Name, we got Dolce, but they've been trying to give you Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions. They've been trying to give you the NBA Young Boys. They've been trying to give you the Lil Babies, even though Lil Baby has had a few hits, especially when you're talking about the Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. But they've been trying to do whatever they can to give you ignorance and the low vibrational music from hip hop.
Why you not super fan?
It is time to bring back balance, and that's what I think Kendrick Lamar is doing. He is doing the great reset, but for hip hop. No conspiracy. YouTube, please don't block me. I'm talking about resetting what hip hop is about, because for the last few years, hip hop has lost its way. Even though, like FD Signifer says, and I have said,
hip hop's probably been cooked from the beginning. Hip hop's earliest days, it was like a gold rush. Once people started realizing what hip hop could be, everybody kind of came to the table, said, we want our piece, immediately became corporatized. They got it quick. They co-opted it really quick.
Hip hop has always been about moving the crowd. Don't get me wrong. Let's not have that debate. Hip hop isn't just about underground, lyrical, I'm the lyricist, or street talk, or gangster.
But gangster rap, although still really good music, was still corporately owned. It was still owned by a bunch of white people that took all the money, Didn't pay any of these rappers half of anything.
You know, every time I release a video, there's always these people only want to talk about underground hip hop. There is a video that I have coming about underground hip hop and how it's basically an oxymoron, right? It will never grow because as soon as underground hip hop tries to go mainstream, underground hip hop fans don't want to hear that. Underground hip hop, I'm not talking about that right now. I will come back to that in a different video. But hip hop in its core is something that's been mainstream. Rap music is a pillar of hip hop, but hip hop music, moving the crowd and getting people dancing and making good music has always been a core foundation of hip hop. It always was, let's get these people on these feet, right? And then eventually it turned into maybe something a little bit more socially conscious. But there's always been a balance in hip hop. Hip hop has been unbalanced for years, and it's time to reset. I think the red button, the real red button,
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Kendrick Lamar pushing it right now and making people think. If you ask me, the world is going backward. The world in general is cooked. And if you look at mainstream hip hop, it's cooked. And the crazy thing about it is it's not even doing well. Most of the mainstream artists, which are really women right now, they don't sell well.
With all the buzz and all the chatter, and then Kendrick would drop with none of that buzz or chatter. But number-wise, Kendrick's gonna outnumber him.
Big Crit, Big Sean, Saha the Prince, Wale, these artists have been pushed out of the mainstream all the way out. And they probably would sell more right now. Big Sean doing what, 29,000 the first week? Is selling more than Sweetie. It's selling more than Glorilla. A lot of what's being force-fed down our throats doesn't even sell well. It's just put there to, if you ask me, to muddy the message of hip-hop and make it seem like something that, you know, it's just commodity, man.
She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent.
Don't you think that's hypocritical though? You're saying
It's
opioid problem's a problem.
opportunistic. Yeah, I got people to feed.
Oh,
I got a business to run.
Everything in this world has turned into a commodity and has lost its essence and lost its true value. And Kendrick is calling for a reset.
I don't mean that hip hop music is cooked or that hip hop music is bad now, but as a cultural force and an artistic force, hip hop is greatly cooked.
And a couple of things that I want to talk about here. He talked about Nipsey, which is crazy because a day before that, I put out a video actually talking about Nipsey, right? I thought that was crazy. He'll trade all of you for Nipsey, and I would too. I love Victory Lap. Victory Lap still hits to me to this day. It's amazing what Nipsey stood for. Should still be championed and still should be promoted in the community, especially since his death. Funny that this was announced right after the Super Bowl because that's what the Super Bowl is one big commodity. They come to your town and everybody's making money. And the locals are trying to figure out how to scramble for money. So it's one big party and, you know, the big corporations that run everything make all the money. So if you ask me, I love that whole point of it. One of the things that I love that he said, because it's not about Drake. If you think this is just a Drake diss song, he was probably talking about you.
It's so frustrating, the level of fucking media analysis and critical thinking or the lack thereof that people had, that people listened to that song and thought it was about Drake.
Because you don't understand the nuances of the culture. And one thing that made me understand he was talking about the culture was he said, kill the killers because they kill innocent lives. That's something that I have tried my hardest to not talk about because there's one artist that I want to make the face of that because the case that he is fighting right now is extremely ridiculous. If true, which I'm not snitching here, but you know what I mean? What is going on in our communities? I just saw a shootout on the block in Philly. What is happening in the black communities is ridiculous. The fact that the number one killer of black people are gun deaths is just ridiculous. And like Kendrick said, blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. How can I weep when Trayvon Martin was dead in the street when gang banging make me kill a nigga blacker than me? Hypocrite. Being a black American is taxing, bro. And you can't really say how you want to say. You might sound like a Trump supporter or a conservative, but deaths and the murder in the neighborhood just makes it unsafe. And then somebody comes in and gentrifies it. Then we get mad. It's like, yo, being a black American is crazy. So the fact that Kendrick put that in here makes me understand that he wasn't just talking about Drake. He's talking about black culture in general. It's time for a change. And that's what I heard when I heard Not Like Us, is that, yo, these people are coming in and commodifying us, right? Every group and every race from all over the world are dressing, acting, and talking like black Americans.
I mean, the black man in America is the most copied man on this planet, bar none.
Our culture is probably the biggest export in America. Let's keep it real. What does America truly make besides selling football, selling basketball, selling hip hop, selling culture, selling swag? Like, It's all us, but yet
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga.
we don't have a love for ourselves. So that's what I love, that part right there. Tough love, saying, yo, it's certain people that's just not going to go.
I'm not going to be able to psychologize all them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep from God.
And Dr. Umar is just saying, like, some people are just not going to go. Some people are not going to be able to move past whatever trauma they have in their head. And we just going to have to get rid of them. I love this song. I think it is time. It is time. It is time. It is time for a big reset in hip hop.
Calling out the degeneracy, the drug usage. What is this whippet shit? When did niggas started doing whippets? Yeah, it's just the niggas pick.
And mentioning Lecrae and D1. Shout out to Lecrae. Shout out to Scooty Wop. Shout out to all my Christian rappers out there. Scooty Wop, yo. The Christian rappers are getting some love. D1 just called out Joe Budden a few months ago. He's from New Orleans. So there's a lot of nuances to Kendrick, and I'm still peeling back the layers. There's dope breakdowns about how it's about 4 horsemen in the Bible and how he's taking this as a biblical approach. And I've heard that in his music since Damn. So I'm glad there's other people that agree with that. But I also just think Kendrick is just being a black man from the hood that is a good kid in Mad City.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
To where you have this knowledge, you have this teaching, you had your father, you had somebody trying to show you a different way, but everything else around you is trying to push you in this direction. You're trying to go in this direction. And I think with this upcoming election and everything that's happening in the world, I think that God's chosen people, which I believe to be black Americans, I think that if we get it together with our music, our fashion, the way we treat each other, I think the world will follow suit. I think that the reason why we're the most hated and the most emulated, like we're the most hated and the most loved at the same time, is because we haven't been able to love ourselves and love each other. And I think that is what I'm hearing here is Kendrick wants to change the narrative.
See a new earth filled with beautiful people making humanity work.
Yeah, some of it is jabs at Drake and everything he represents. I always say this, that Drake, you can tell Drake really fell in love with BET Uncut, right? Like just the person that he is fell in love with BET Uncut. And I think the Kanye making Best I Ever Had the way he did.
Now, I swore the new uniforms would be encouragement. The Mighty Ducks didn't disappoint Emilio Estevez. You know what I'm saying?
Is so true to Drake. People gave Kanye hell for the Best I Ever Had video, but it's so true to Drake. Drake would definitely have a Big 3 like company with women in bikinis playing basketball.
The nigga hit the jackpot. You all I ever wanted.
That's just how I feel about him. But everything that Drake represents, just the misogyny, always partying, drugs, alcohol, I think that it's time to change the narrative. That's done. That's dead. It's time to think. It's time to get more in depth. And I just want to say, as a person who wants to give more solutions, if you want to listen to more mainstream artists that are giving you that feel of the underground but still making really good music at a high level, because I think that's the problem with a lot of underground music. They don't make good music at a high level. They may have bars, they may have, you know, story, but they don't have good music making ability at a high level. A couple of albums that I just want to end this off with, and you can definitely leave your comments. Do y'all think this is a great reset? Do you see the change happening? I do. And I want to list out some of my favorite albums to release this year. I want to give a big shout out to Vince Staples, Dark Times. Big Staples, Dark Times is amazing. Etouffee and Little Homies is some of my favorite songs of this year. I want to give a shout out to Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q. Amazing album. Just very different, very just out there. Very, I don't know. Schoolboy Q has a very unique sound. Very rock, very grunge, very hip hop, very West Coast, very hood. Like, I love that. Also want to give shout out to Pete Rock and Common for the Auditorium Volume 1. That joint is amazing. There is a God. It's so many songs on there. Common is completely out rapping everybody right now. So shout out to Common. What else I got? Slim Shady did a really amazing album this year. I have not liked an Eminem project in years. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't liked an Eminem project in years. So shout out to Eminem for releasing a dope project. I want to give a big shout out to Better Me Than You by Big Sean. Amazing album, amazing project. Loved what he did there. Samurai by Lupe Fiasco is pretty good. I only really like one song on there, and that was Palaces. But there's still battle rap is still some good stuff on there. So yo, shout out to LL Cool J as well with The Force, man. The Force is amazing. And another artist that doesn't get much credit, but I think he's the king of conspiracy rap, and I got a video coming about him pretty soon, and that's B.O.B. B.O.B. with Space Time, a part of his Elements 2 series. Shout out to B.O.B. Very, very thoughtful, very conspiratorial, very deep thinker. You know, with all of this, I think there's a changing of a guard. I think these albums are really, really, really dope, and they deserve more credit. So shout out to Vince Staples, shout out to Schoolboy Q, shout out to LL Cool J, shout out to Common and Pete Rock, bro. They was killing it, bro. They was crushing it this year. Eminem with Fuel, JID killed that. That's my favorite song off there. But definitely go check all those projects out. If you like real rap, you tired of what's going on the radio, like I said, leave your thoughts in the comment section. I think it's time for a great hip hop reset. Share this video with some friends, put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram, like this video, comment. If you want to donate, definitely donate to this Cash App up here. I would appreciate anything to support the channel. I love you guys. I will hit y'all with another video. Read My Soul out. Peace.